Hi Leos, and welcome to your November 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. Really great energy coming forward for you, Leo. I'm not disappointed with what I'm seeing and feeling. For everyone, this month of November is a bit polarizing and a bit contrasting with the energy. I haven't really had one reading this month that I felt was either wholesomely positive or wholesomely negative or good or bad, and it seems that your energy is also following this pattern as I see some really wonderful things, you know, 3 of Cups, the Hierophant, the Chariot, 10 of Cups, but you're also still dealing with some of those things that pervaded you from the past, 5 of Swords, the Moon reversed, the Lovers reversed, Justice reversed. I feel, Leo, that you are overcoming everything that you face which you feel to be negative with flying colors. I love to see the 3 of Cups as your central theme. I know that you guys have had a little bit of a disconnect from most people in your life, perhaps over the majority of this year. It's been more difficult for you to connect with people, and it's been more difficult for you to magnetize in new presences, new energies into your aura, and I feel that you do overcome this in the month of November through understanding how what represented you in the past was not as appealing as you thought it was. There's a really strong major karmic thing happening to you as you transition from October to November. So moving into the beginning of November, it is not going to be too wise, I feel, to be too discouraged, okay? Because, and we'll get into it with the week to week, I'm still sort of giving the intuitive messages, but I look straight to that first week in November, the Lovers reversed with the Moon reversed, and that's a big thing, you know, that is a subtle thing perhaps, but it represents something very full scale in your life, and, you know, it's not really easy. I feel your heart to really be beating like hard, like the, you know, Leo rules the heart, it rules the central nervous system of the body. So I sense that your senses and your feelings and reactions to things which are happening to you in your life are perhaps like hyper dynamic or like really activated. So all of your senses, you know, your sense of sight, hearing, smell, taste, all of that is going to be quite sensitive, I feel, this month, as we are having Jupiter changing sign from Scorpio into Sagittarius. So the way that we perceive the world and the way that we enjoy the world is changing. So the main intuitive message that I feel for Leo is a change in aesthetic, a change in taste, a change in desire. And you might sort of be surprised with yourself because you, perhaps in like September or October, just came to like the precipice of the current objective of what you've currently been working on. And you see as you're coming into November, wait, I'm not sure if this is right. Wait, I have been dedicated to a path which actually doesn't give me anything. It's not to my taste anymore. I don't desire this in the same way that I did before. You know, that type of thought within you can sometimes wreak a bit of havoc on your life when you're surrounded with people who need you to be a certain thing for them. So if you see that relationships start to be a bit volatile in the month of November, or if you see that people, I don't know, have a weird cathartic need from you to perhaps not see you do too well, try to not fear that and try to not become discouraged with that, because you're going to see people clearly this month. You're going to see people's true colors this month. You're going to be sensitive to people's true colors. So yes, for some of you, this could be a month where you feel a bit betrayed by someone, or you feel like someone was not out for your best interest, but you are so called universally to treat this as a blessing, because perhaps now is a better time. Perhaps now is a better time to have this happen than, you know, in like January or February of 2019. Because, I mean, as I said a second ago, Leo, Jupiter is moving into Sagittarius, from Scorpio to Sagittarius, November 8th. That is a big deal for you because that really is benevolent. Like, that's Leo, perhaps, and Aries, and Sag, you know, all the fire signs really benefit through that, but like the conjunction, for example, with Sagittarius, like there's a little bit more weight, there's a little bit more pressure to really generate something incredible. But for you, Leo, having that Jupiter move into a trine aspect with you from Sagittarius, it really allows benevolent things to fall into place. So let it be known and validated that if people are falling out with you, if people don't trust you, if people are not satisfied with you, it is a way of the universe allowing a positive experience to fall into your life without much struggle. The only problem area that I can see with that is you getting too hooked into people. Again, Jupiter in Scorpio is all about forming attachments, forming ideals of what you need as a person, and sometimes that can become a bit obsessive. So if you see people that you've really loved in your life not really actually being right for you, the only error that I feel Leo can make is to not allow that. You know, you're a very powerful energy. You're like the energy of the sun. You might say, okay, this person doesn't want to be in my life anymore. I will not allow them to leave. I will do everything in my power to keep this relationship as I see fit. And it's like through doing that, you allow them to sabotage you, or you allow them to betray you in some way, just to continue that cycle of predictability. So what cycles of predictability need to be continued? I don't feel any of them do, because you're going to be seeing with the moon reversed in your reading that you've perhaps seen people with rose-colored glasses, and that's a really wonderful quality. Jupiter in Sagittarius also demands a bit of optimism, but let's see the difference between healthy optimism and what do I want to say? Forceful self-realization that somebody has to serve a certain aspect or role in your life, otherwise you'll have to, unfortunately, face yourself. So why do you feel that facing yourself or being with yourself is something that is unfortunate or needed to be avoided? You're making progress, Leo. You're not going to be stuck. You're not going to be stagnating. I don't feel this to be a stagnant energy, especially past the first week of November. You have the Chariot in your reading. You have the Hierophant. You know, you're spiritually behind the path and progressions that you need to make. Really, really beautiful energy. Three of Cups, you're making the right decisions. Your central theme is all about networking, all about connecting with people who will help you on your path, not people who will hinder you and push you backwards to what you were trying to pervade before. So definitely see who reminds you of your past, who represents your present, and who can really work with you towards achieving the future environment that you need in your life right now. This is a month, Leo, where you can allow those things to easily fall into place, easily falling into place. The only thing that can really make this month difficult is being too fixed. Again, Leo is a fixed sign. Whenever Five of Swords comes up, it says to me that we really need things to be a certain way, otherwise we're really going to get volatile and lash out. You know, you see someone who you really admire, perhaps your partner, or perhaps a friend who's been a friend for quite a while. You see them sort of not being happy with your success, or not really admiring you in the way that you deserve. And the only time that that becomes an issue is when you need them to be a certain thing and you can't look away from that. I'm not saying you have to leave people behind. I'm not saying you have to block people. It's not anything like that. But can you prioritize less those types of things? Can you sort of think, okay, this person isn't really tuned in towards my success, and this person does not really like me to be more successful than them because it hurts them. Can I maybe look the other way for a while? It doesn't mean I have to push them out. You know, we're not in 10 of Swords territory. We're not in 9 of Swords territory. It's only a 5. It's a little bit of a warning. It's sort of like a test from the universe. Can you sort of look the other way? Or has this person become necessary to fill the void in your life because you're scared of the empty space? Think clearly about these things, and you will move through November in a very healthy and progressive manner for you, which is best, lucky, benevolent, Jupiter and Sag, really wonderful. Okay, Leos, I'm going to go ahead and get into the week to week, and we will see what specifically is coming up for you. Week number 1 in November, you have the Lovers reversed, rooted down by the Moon reversed. This is where things can go awry. This is where there is an opportunity to really go against yourself if you're not careful. There is a bit of stagnation there. That's why I said past the first week in November, no stagnation, because you're going to see it. You're going to see something in the first week of November that is like, okay, this is not the progress that I needed. This is not where I wanted to see myself. There's an aspect of like sitting at the crossroads, but really like not being able to make a decision of which way to go with the Lovers reversed. It can also be a sign that a relationship that you have been involved in, which has felt really heavy in your life, which has felt very destined and fated. Not good words for you right now, Leo, destined and fated, but nonetheless a relationship which felt so might not be turning out the way that you expected it to. And no longer can you wear rose-colored glasses and cover that up. The Moon reverse says to me that you are in touch with reality. You are seeing things clearly, and no longer are you going to trick or fool yourself into thinking things are a way that they're not, just to sort of sustain a sense of reality which is comfortable. No more suspending disbelief, Leo. No more suspending disbelief in the first week of November. It will feel natural, and you will feel healed through not doing that. I'm going to write that down for you. Suspending disbelief, bad for Leo. Sorry, guys. Again, these channelings are raw and unedited, because I really like for the subtle messages that come through to be clear and succinct. And I feel like sometimes editing or being too, you know, like really trying to edit things out or trying to put things together, it makes perhaps things which might have made sense to like an individual person that's just kind of out of it, you know, like is not really clear. It's like maybe it makes sense to someone because it's a sign or signal to something they were thinking themselves. So yeah, but I'm really enjoying this reading. I'm really happy to be reading for you, Leo. Your energy is incredible. Your energy is beautiful, and you have a lot to give. I feel more held by your energy than the other signs this month. So, you know, you're working with more energy than you have in a while. So congratulations for that. In the second week of November, you have 10 of Cups rooted down by King of Swords. I like that. I like that energy a lot. For some of you, that is repairing a relationship. For some of you, that is seeing a relationship or a connection with someone in a more logistic and formulaic light. So you're not just saying, okay, I don't feel good with this person, that means they're bad for me. Or this person makes me feel really good, that means that they're incapable of doing me wrong in some way. It's not to say that if you feel bad in a relationship, you should try to go against that, or you should try to say, no, I'm fine, and cover that up. You have to be honest with your feelings, especially when they're not feeling good towards a certain situation. But at the same time, sometimes being too into your feelings can create more of a connection in a weird way. So the karmic cycle becomes more colored through really strong feelings that are acted upon without much foresight. So definitely taking foresight into account in the second week and thinking, what is the best way to make this function in its highest ability? And wow, is that actually in alignment with what I want? Like, sort of realizing that you don't have to lash out, or you don't have to make this a big emotional scene, and that might actually be what you want. Because it's kind of, even though they're both upright, they're both like positive energies, Ten of Cups and King of Swords. They're kind of not the most harmonious in their way, because Ten of Cups is all about just like that lovey-dovey feeling of, wow, connection, marriage, white picket fence, we are connected. King of Swords is all about logistics and formulas and equations. And oftentimes Ten of Cups doesn't come about in a formulaic and equational way, but that does make me rethink it. You know, perhaps it does take a lot of constant effort and discipline, like discipline to sustain Ten of Cups. So definitely think about how you can make your relationship happy and enjoyable. Because I sense something in Leo that's kind of like, well, I just need to be spontaneous. Or I just need to do what I feel because that's self-love for me. But is it really? You know, it is. That is necessary. But can you enjoy the process of maybe like planning out a really nice experience with your significant other? It does sort of feel like an energy of like Valentine's Day or anniversary for some of you. So some of you could be getting engaged or married or celebrating some type of anniversary. And it feels really nice to maybe make a detailed plan about how to make this really enjoyable and fun. It feels like a nice karmic healing thing for you. Just kind of a random message. Week number 3 of November, 5 of Swords, rooted down by Justice reversed. We are getting heavier there. So pay attention to what happens to you in the 3rd week of November. Pay attention to the way that people are treating you, and pay attention to the subtleties, because there could be a tendency to not realize how you're being gone against, not to make you feel paranoid, or not to make you feel like you have to look over your shoulder. But that is what the 5 of Swords does. It looks over its shoulder and it kind of smirks. So who is smirking at you, or who is wanting to win? You know, what is victory to you right now, Leo? The way that I'm kind of seeing it, and this is going to be different for everyone, this won't resonate for everyone. At what price do you have to be right, Leo? Like, what is being right or correct to you? Sometimes 5 of Swords will do anything to be right or do anything to win. It is a very like ego-oriented card. This could be someone in your life. This doesn't mean it's you. But I would urge all Leos to look within and think, what is being right or correct or victorious really? You know, what does that really entail? You know, is being deemed the person who's right in this argument actually a victory? So thinking long term, you know, Justice Reverse says to me that we're not quite thinking of the long term here. We're not quite thinking of how this really balances the scales, like what weight this puts. Like, is me having to be victorious here and now in this situation and demanding that and using my powerful stored energy to elicit that, does that lead to a sense of balance in the future? Okay, because Leo has been in a bit of an odd way throughout the year of 2018. I believe that this was Jupiter and Scorpio for you, kind of squaring off your energy and like really expanding the ego energy. Not always a bad thing. That's channeled out in a lot of healthy ways for you, but it can sort of be, and I just have to be real with you guys, a sort of frivolous desire to be correct in all aspects of your life, and a strong fear to not be the correct or victorious one in any given situation. Sometimes the biggest victory in an individual's life is the realization of having been wrong about something, or the what I like to call is the benevolence of wrongness. Sometimes having been wrong about something, or having made the improper choice, brings about the best possible situation, usually through the realization of that. So you realize, okay, I was actually demanding too much from that person. My demands were not right for them. And through that realization, it brings the relationship to the next level, because you've been able to like humbly support that person in a beautiful karmic way. Whereas had you like stuck to, had you continued to stick to like this incessant need to be right, and like even if you were right like about some of the details, you're like, I might not have been right about the whole thing, but I was right about that. I was right about that. And like sort of like coming back at people really quick without giving them time to think, and like really wrapping their words around, and like sort of, it's like this addiction and indulgence of having to see the right parts of yourself because you're afraid that something's not right. It takes away from any type of humble karmic healing that could have happened in the situation, you know? Like, sometimes just giving someone else the victory is the biggest victory. And that's sort of like a Capricorn thing to do. And so for those of you who have like Capricorn placements, you know, I don't need to tell you, you already understand this quite well. And again, this isn't going to resonate for everyone. I'm really not trying to, you know, pick on Leo in some way, but it's important because the ego is the probably most powerful thing in a Leo person. And again, ego is not all bad. Like in the spiritual community, we kind of like attribute ego to like a lot of negative qualities. And just like anything in life, it can be negative. And I am speaking on some of those, at least more unhealthy or difficult aspects of it for you this month. But a good way to channel that, like a good way to positively channel ego energy, I mean, of course, naturally, you can see that on an ambitious path. You can see like, okay, let me be victorious in my career. Let me be victorious in my business. Let me channel that like energy to like really find these like small subtle details into like the best like online business or something. Like there are a lot of ways to really transform your life with it, you know, transform your bank account, transform your relationship, even through positive self-reflection. But with that great power comes the ability to cause great destruction. And you can, Leo, in the third week, start a cycle of destruction of everything in your life if you're not careful. And I'm just putting that out there. And like anyone who's aware, anyone who's just like thinking about that, you'll know what to do. You'll see it before it hits you. But what do you hold dear during that period of time? Try to be grateful for what you hold dear and to remind it of its beauty in your life rather than picking apart odd situations in searching for your victory, like seeking out the victory within that. Anyway, I feel like I've beaten that subject to death. Week number 4 for Leo, the Hierophant rooted down by the Chariot. Beautiful energy. Beautiful, wonderful, benevolent energy. I love that for you guys. You started the month with 2 reversed major arcana, and you end the month with 2 upright major arcana. You have transformed. You have done something in November, which really puts you onto a really healthy path. And I just like those energies together, honestly. The Hierophant representing, you know, spiritual connection, the presence of faith in your life. Perhaps a crossroads energy as well. It can be a crossroads energy like the Lovers. But it's a healthy crossroads. Like you're happy to have this option. You're happy to have these 2 choices here. And your spirit, and you know that regardless of which path you go down, you're going to be there for yourself. You're going to have faith in whichever path and not be too demanding on, you know, the necessity perhaps of the victorious path, but rather the path which brings you towards a higher sense of enjoyment in life in general. You know, sort of bypassing the need for victory or the need for and I just hate the word victory because it's such a elusive concept, because you know you can win something and ultimately lose in the end, or you can lose and ultimately win in the end. So it can be it's surprising. Like a lot of people do associate victory with Leonine energy or fire energy, but it is actually a Piscean complex, and not many people know that it is a Piscean complex and concept because it often shifts. It is a very mutable, adaptable concept, because what could be a victory for one person would be considered quite a loss for another. So again, Pisces is a quincunx angle to you, Leo. Whenever Leo strives too much for quote-unquote victory, they often find themselves in odd karmic lessons because it's just not really the best energy. Leo has to strive for not victory, but empowerment. Okay? And a lot of people associate empowerment with victory, but it is not the greatest detour. Anyway, that's rooted down by the Chariot reversed, the Hierophant. And that says to me that you're making spiritual progress. You're making progress with your relationship to yourself and to what is a higher power than you. So some of you could be studying like new religions or new spiritualities. And then it could be more physical for some of you. Some of you could be moving to a location which feels more in alignment with who you are. So if, for example, you're not good with heat, you might be moving from the desert to like a more cool climate. So moving and creating an environment for yourself that is in alignment with what your body yearns for is a wonderful way to channel that energy, and you have all the power in the world to do it in that week. The central theme for you in the month of November, Leo, is 3 of Cups. So you're going to be making odd and like very helpful connections throughout this entire process. So meeting new people, Strong platonic friend energy, so new friends can come up here, people who support you, a support network, perhaps like a family support network is coming up, or you're able to connect more with people like that. Who can help you? You know, who can you delegate some tasks to? Who can you look to for emotional support in this month that will be around if you need it? And let that be known, because you could have a tendency to feel too alone, you know, sort of like the lone warrior, Five of Swords. You're not alone. You just have to sort of reach out, and like if you're feeling disconnected from people, just sort of affirm to the universe, I need support right now. I need people in my life, and they will show up. They will be there. You'll be surprised to see that, I feel. But anyways, Leo, I hope that this reading was helpful to you, and that it felt like a positive, uplifting experience, because I know that we tackled some kind of difficult things there. But yes, if you get the opportunity to check out the description box below, you can find me on Patreon, as well as my various social media accounts. And as always, your subscribes, likes, and comments make my day and are very helpful for my channel. And yes, let's be speaking soon. I will see you guys throughout November with different transit videos, but also in December for the December general readings. Much love, and we'll be talking soon. Bye.